entering the end of scary places. So we've got a couple places in these last couple weeks. I was gone for a couple of them, and I guess Tony came as the Grim Reaper. Is this right? And there's some witch cackles, and I can't pull any of that off. I don't have the theatrical abilities, but we've been looking at all the different places where quite honestly, some of us have a lot of fear and we're scared about a lot of different things going on in our life, whether they be our past with skeletons in the closet, whether they be about present things, or today even about the future. We're talking about zombies. So, and apparently I am the zombie expert on staff. I am your survival expert for the day. And so, by the way, if you were wondering, zombies, is there anywhere where the dead are being raised up in the Bible? I do have something. In Matthew, I found an excellent verse. When I remembered this, I was like, this is just perfect for today. Well, let's go ahead and read our verse for today. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. After also his resurrection, they came out of the tombs and entered the holy city and appeared to many. Now when the centurion and those with him who were keeping watch over Jesus saw the earthquake and what took place, they were terrified and said, "Truly this man, God's Son." The dead were raised. And this is a popular thing right now in pop culture, right? The Walking Dead is one of the biggest shows around. And there's a lot of like reality shows talking about if civilization collapsed, would you be ready? I remember when I was younger, and my favorite show that kind of talked about some things with maybe the end coming with aliens. It was a popular theme in the 90s. Anybody X-Files fan out there? What a fantastic show. And for those who have missed it, you need to get on Netflix. It's quality. And I would remember sneaking down into my basement. It was probably past my bedtime when I was watching the show. And I would we had a little TV, and I'd put the blanket over the TV, and watch the X-Files. And aliens were abducting people, and the government was conspiring, and the world was on shaky ground. And I remember being kind of scared even, like hearing the creaking noises of the ceiling above me, wondering if my mom was going to find out, and meanwhile, if aliens were also going to find me out too. There's a lot of things to be scared about. I mean, I look at all the shows and movies. There's, The Road. There's movie after movie, game after game, talking about if civilization collapses due to whatever circumstance, are you prepared? So we reached the segment in the sermon where I like to ask a little survey. Are you prepared for the end coming? I found out in my research, I didn't know about this, but apparently this is a thing. Anybody hear of bug out bags? Your B-O-B? This is a thing. And we have had some people in other services who have these bug out bags apparently. They are a bag that holds your 72-hour supply. So civilization's going to collapse, no worries. You got the first 72 hours covered. What do you need in your bug-out bag? I'm throwing this out. What's your response? What are the top things you need in your bug-out bag? Survive. Water? Water's good. Food? One at a time. Handgun. Weapons were good. Flashlight, some basic essentials. First aid, you might get a little boo-boo. Matches, food, and radio. Anybody say shelter? You need shelter? You want a good tent? You guys are prepared. 945 was struggling with their survival rate. I'm giving you guys a pretty good rating. Allison and I have done extensive conversations about this. If the end comes, what we're doing, we're going to Bass Pro Shop, and we're buckling down. We're getting our ATV. I'm getting some vests, some sort of goggles or something, and we're ready. We're good. So we try to prepare for the worst case scenario. I mean, I thought about the bug out bag, and I'm like, I laugh at it, but there's a part of me that's sympathetic. I'm kind of like, you could prepare now though. And I was looking at some of the advertisements for it. They even had bug out bag accessories for your dog. The little bags you could put over your dogs so they could carry their water and all their necessary things to survive the coming doom. Because that's important to make sure your pet's taken care of. I didn't see ones for cats. I'm assuming because cats know how to take care of themselves. The end comes, they're all good. They're good. Are you prepared? I mean, this is like a culture entertainment thing. I mean, one of our commodities for entertainment is fear. But I think fear also plugs into a lot of things that are a little more serious. They're not as entertaining. You know, I look at a lot of news, particularly cable news, and I see a whole lot of fear, and I see that driving revenue. I mean, let's just be honest. Good news doesn't sell, but fear news, that wraps people in. And I don't know how many conversations I've seen people engaged in where people are fearful and afraid, particularly these days, of what's the big buzz? What are we afraid of? Ebola. Ebola's coming in. How many cases of Ebola are there in Indiana right now? 0. Okay, the Midwest. 0. So what in the world is going on? Certainly Ebola is a big deal. Certainly there is the chance it could come into the Midwest or even Indiana or even this community. But why are we so afraid right now? Why are we so afraid? There seems to be something about fear that grabs us, that culture has gotten, that is, if you want to hook people, if you want to engage people, an easy way to do that is fear. But where's God in the midst of this, right? I mean, as followers of Christ, what does it look like for us to live in our current culture, where there's a lot of fear, a lot of worry, and a lot of concern? As a follower of Christ, how am I to respond? And I mean, it's not even the big deal news stuff or apocalyptic stuff. We are just freaked out about our current lives. You know, as a new parent, I'm catching up quickly to understanding why parents freak out so much, right? Theo's on that stage of walking. So there's a lot of concern there, right? He's going to pull stuff down on himself. He might trip and fall and hurt himself. You know, I hear about news stories about young parents maybe who got hit by a drunk driver. It was out of their control, and that young family's done. So I'm concerned about that. I've talked to person after person who looks at the economy. They know how things are going for their company, and they say, you know, I don't know if my job's going to be here as of next year. I'm really worried about this. People look at their own finances, and we're just scared. We're in fear that things are going to work out as they need to. Let alone thinking about, you know, for those of us who are still, you know, in school, thinking about all the things that go on there where we're worried about, you know, what are things going to work out as I hope they will, for making friends, for, you know, if there's upcoming dances. I don't even know. I've been out of that for a while. I just remember being in high school and being quite worried a lot, right? There's a lot of things to be scared about. If we're looking for it, we'll find them. There's a lot of things to be fearful about. And so, what difference does Jesus make? I think back to our scripture in Matthew. The dead rose, but do you remember what happened before that? Do you know what happened before that circumstance? Is the crucifixion. So Jesus, he's unfairly accused, unfairly put on trial, sentenced, by all accounts tortured in some of the worst ways that we can imagine, and put to death. Can you imagine a more worst case scenario than that? For those of you who like to think of worst case scenarios. And it even goes one step farther. He's put on the cross and he's separated from the presence of God on our behalf. When we think about, a lot of fear is based off senses of security and knowing where our safety is. And Jesus was found security in the Father, in the presence of God. And yet he took on our sin, that separation on our behalf. Are you starting to get the picture of what Jesus means for our fear? But the crucifixion isn't the only part of that story. There's a resurrection. There's hope. In the midst of what the Roman world of that time could think of as the worst case scenario, God's greatest glory was found. God did an amazing, beautiful thing in the midst of one of the ugliest things we can think of. I mean, torture and crucifixion. And in that, God gave us life and hope. A new perspective. You are given the opportunity for freedom and new life in the presence of Christ. So what difference does God make? I'm going to say something I think it's going to upset some of you, but it's true. You know those worst case scenarios that you're thinking of? They can and maybe even will happen. It's altogether possible, maybe even likely in some cases, that your worst case, your worst fears may come to pass. They may. And yet, though, what is our choice to do, though, in the midst of bad circumstances? What are we called to do? People talk about living in fear of, do we live in a time of the end times and tribulation? And whenever people bring this up, I think back to the bubonic plague. Anybody know about the bubonic plague? It's occurred 3 times in history. One at 500 AD, one at about 1450, and one that recently ended in about 1950s. The bubonic plague, though, when it occurred in the Middle Ages, in about the 1400s, killed 1/3 of the world's population. Can you imagine 1/3 of the world's population dying? So when people talk about it being bad now, I think, it's been worse. And yet those people, those were our ancestors and forebears for many of us, the people who survived the bubonic plague. And look at where we're at now. God is still with us, and God will be with us. The worst may happen, and yet God is still going to be with us through it all. People talk about being concerned about a great many things. One of the things we did last week was a survey. What worries you about the future? We asked a question of the week, and last week's was, what worries you about the future? What do you think the number one answer was, by the way? Any guesses? Family? Family was number one. People are worried about their children being able to accept Christ, of living in the culture we live in, just worried about all sorts of things with their family. The next one was this fear of the unknown, of health. Am I going to continue to be healthy? Am I going to be accepted? Fear of old age and death. A lot of unknowns. A lot of fear revolves around, will things continue to go up in a positive direction? I don't know. I can't see that right now. I can't see the future. I don't have a glass ball. I don't know, and that worries me. Have you ever been held captive by fear? I mean, there's just something constricting about it. And for some of us, we've just lived our whole lives in it, and that just feels normal. Fear and worry and anxiety is just part of the day. And we can't imagine anything different. But God offers us something different. We don't have to live in fear and worry all the time. The worst may happen, and yet God is still with us. I mean, if you think about it, if civilization collapsed, if this city collapsed, could we still have hope? I mean, that's the thought going behind. In the book of Lamentations, Jeremiah was thinking about and reflecting on the collapse of Jerusalem, of the holy city. And these are his thoughts. The thought of my affliction and my homelessness is wormwood and gall. I mean, it was eating him up. My soul continually thinks of it, and it's bowed down within me. I mean, sound like fear for many of us? We're just consumed with fear. But, there's a big but this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases, and his mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. See, bad circumstances happen, and so we're realists about that. And yet, though, we have a choice to how do we respond to what could maybe happen in life. And we could try to prepare and do everything we could possibly do to mitigate bad stuff happening, but the truth is it still does. And by the way, reasonable precautions are fine. But when you're consumed by that, you're held captive by fear. And what Jeremiah here is saying is, though the city falls, and he can't, how can you imagine Israel surviving when it's been taken over? And yet he has hope and faith in God. And he says, God, your mercies are new every morning. You are still here with me. Even though I don't see how this is going to go, I know that you're with me. And God continued with Israel. God continued to be with the people of Israel in exile, and eventually did bring the promised Messiah. And we have that same hope. In 1 Peter, we read about this hope. What difference does Jesus make? 1 Peter says, "Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. By his great mercy, he has given us a new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead." He's given us a new birth into living hope. And for some of you, I just think that's where we need to be today. A new birth into living hope. You don't have to live bowed down and turned in on yourself with fear. You don't have to be so racked with worry. You can live in hope that it's in God's hands. And ultimately, we have this hope of resurrection from the dead. It's an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, unfading, kept in heaven for you. That's our firm security. We know the end of the story. We know what God's doing. And so we're protected by the power of God through a faith for a salvation ready to be revealed in the last time. In this you rejoice, even if you now for a little while you have had to suffer various trials, so that the genuineness of your faith, being more precious than gold, that though perishable is tested by fire, may be found to result in praise and glory and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Although you have not seen him, you love him. Even though you do not see him now, you believe in him and rejoice with an indescribable and glorious joy. For you are receiving the outcome of your faith, the salvation of your souls. And this is the hope we're given. And this is salvation for us, is that we have hope in the midst of trials, in the midst of the darkest of circumstances. We have hope, even joy, because we know God is with us and sustains us. God will be with us through the hard times. No matter, though the worst may come at us, we don't need to live in fear. We are offered freedom and hope. And that's the story of Christians throughout the centuries. There were, I think about Ebola, there were epidemics throughout history. Yet you think in Roman times, Christians were famous for being blamed for the epidemics and then going out and caring for those who were suffering. And here's probably something that's true too. I don't know for sure, but I'm going to guess some of the Christians died. But that's not the point. The point was they had a greater calling. They had a greater hope. They knew that God was with them. And so how could they not step out in faith? So what do you do with bad circumstances? Do you sit in fear? Or can you instead give up fear? And what goes with it, I think, is control and trying to manage the circumstance, right? Isn't that when we get afraid, we all have different ways of handling it, but for many of us, we try to control and manage. To give up the fear, we need to be able to let go and to trust God and to say, God, things may not go according to my plan. I have my 10-year plan. I have hopes, but I know my hopes are ultimately grounded in you. You are with me, and you will take me into places that I cannot even imagine, and that's wonderful. So where's your hope? I hope today that you can find a hope in Jesus, that God can break through into you. For me, sometimes it comes like a slap in the face, where I'm like, I've been worried and trying to manage stuff that's been going on in my own life, trying to make things be successful, and I'm worried about outcomes, and I realize I'm trying too hard. I don't have to be so unhappy because God is with me and it's in God's hands. So I hope you can experience that today. If that's you, if you've been racked with worry and guilt and fear, I'd invite you to come forward and experience freedom. I would invite you also to come forward and pray for those around us, maybe that you know in our community, who have a lot of things to be worried about. We have prayer blankets. One of them is for the military, and somebody came up to me and said that there's somebody in the Navy that they know who's being sent overseas to West Africa. They're worried. People are put into harm's way. Our missionaries are put into harm's way. And yet God's with them. But sometimes God can seem far away when those worries are nearby. And so I'd invite you to come forward and pray for those who need to experience God's comfort and love. Let's all turn to God in prayer. God, we come to you today so thankful for your love, a love that goes beyond any circumstance, that you are with us. You never leave us. But God, for some of us today, we are so used to our fear and our worry, it's become like a comfortable jacket. We're used to it. We don't even notice it at times. And in fact, we feel justified about it. We beat other people over the head with our worries. But God, we know that you have a greater plan in mind for us. Not one of fear and of worry and despair, but of joy and hope and faith, a courageous faith. And so, God, we pray that you would help us to be a courageous people who would step out boldly in faith into the midst of a world who needs hope. And God, we pray that today you would step into our lives and our hearts. We come to you today in all praise and all honor and glory, saying we love you, God.